Am I attracted to what's truly good for me, or am I unknowingly repeating the patterns of my father wound? Hello everyone, welcome back to Beloved. I'm Sharice Rochelle, and today's episode is about a hidden but powerful part of healing, how our father wounds can shape what we're drawn to in relationships and how we can begin to change that. For many of us, our attractions didn't form in a vacuum. They were shaped by what we saw, what we lacked, and what we were trying to subconsciously repair. But here's the good news. You're not locked into those patterns. With awareness, healing, and God's truth, you can begin to desire and attract something new, something healthy, safe, and deeply loving. So let's talk about recognizing default patterns. Father wounds often create unconscious defaults. You might not realize it, but your attractions can reflect unfinished business with your father figure. For example, if your father was emotionally distant, you may be drawn to emotionally unavailable partners, chasing after closeness that never comes. If he was critical or hard to please, you may fall for people who keep you in a constant cycle of proving your worth. If he abandoned you, you may tolerate crumbs of attention, thinking at least I'm not alone. The first step is recognizing these patterns without judgment, naming them honestly so you can change them. So let's look at attraction versus familiarity. Attraction is often mistaken for chemistry, but what feels like chemistry may actually be familiarity. Your nervous system recognizing an old pattern. That's why drama, inconsistency, or emotional distance can feel magnetic, while safe, consistent love can sometimes feel boring. Healing requires retraining your nervous system, teaching yourself that peace is not dull, it's safe, and that stability is not a lack of passion, it's health. So how can we begin to break this cycle? This is where the shift begins. First, awareness. Journaling and prayer can help you to identify what your type has been and how it ties to your father wound. Ask yourself, who do I keep choosing and why? Pause before your pursuit. So when you feel strongly drawn to someone, stop and ask yourself, does this attraction come from somewhere, from wholeness or from a wound? Reframe your desires. So instead of asking, does this person excite me? Shift to, does this person bring me peace, safety, and respect? And invite God into the process. So pray specifically over your attractions. Lord, align my heart with your heart. Make me desire what is healthy, what honors you, and what reflects you. On the other hand, we have to also become what we want to attract. So healing is not only about choosing differently, it's about becoming different. So for instance, self-respect. As we discussed in a previous episode, respecting yourself is foundational. And when you respect yourself, you stop negotiating your worth. You no longer stay where you're disrespected. Boundaries. Boundaries become natural when you know what you deserve. So without self-love and self-respect, boundaries feel impossible to set. But with them, they feel non-negotiable. Healing your nervous system. So sometimes healing isn't just about the emotional, but also the physical. If your body associates chaos with love, you'll need to slowly teach it that calm is safe. And this can be done through therapy, prayer, affirmations, and practicing being around people who are steady. And lastly, attracting differently. You do not just attract what you want, you attract what you believe you deserve. So healing increases your standards, not from the point of view of pride, but from the point of view of truth. I am God's beloved. I deserve love that reflects His heart for me. Here are some questions to reflect on this week. What patterns do I see in people that I've been drawn to? Does consistency and kindness feel boring to me, and why? What would it look like to pause before pursuing someone and ask if this attraction is from wholeness or from a wound? And how can I align my heart with God's design for love instead of my defaults? And it would probably also be helpful to go back and listen to the previous episodes on boundaries, self-respect. There is another episode which is similar to this one on how our father wounds impact the relationships that we find ourselves in. So reflecting on these episodes can also be helpful. And today's affirmation is, I release the patterns of my past. I am worthy of love that is safe, steady, and true. God is reshaping my heart to desire what is good for me. And we're going to close on this scripture. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that is taken from Romans chapter 12, verse 2. This transformation is not just about your thoughts, but your patterns, your desires, and even your attractions. So thank you so much for joining me today on Beloved. If this episode resonated with you, I encourage you to share it with someone who may feel stuck in repeating old patterns. Healing is possible, and you do not have to keep reliving the same story. Remember, you are not bound to your defaults. And with God's help, you can learn to recognize them, break them, and create a new pattern, one which is rooted in love, safety, and worth. Until next time, stay rooted in truth, wrapped in grace, and always remember you are beloved.